Hey guys, today we're going to tie a quick little fly that I learned a few years ago from Kim Burnett over at Crappie Stopper Jigs and Flies.com. He just called it a bluegill bug. Always gave him a little bit of guff about that because I have caught just about every species you can imagine on this fly, from bluegill on up to carp and catfish, white bass, largemouth bass, everything in between, crappie definitely. So, but it does catch the heck out of bluegills as well. So I thought I'd take a moment here and tie up my version of that fly for you. I think over the years it's changed just a little bit. It's not exactly the same as he tied it, but the principle is the same. So we're going to start out with a Kona BSN barbless standard nymph hook in a size 12. I like to do this fly as big as 8s and as small as 14s. Don't really go much smaller than that. So we're going to start out with Vivus 140. In this particular case it's going to be in tan. And we're going to start that thread up fairly close to the eye of the hook, but a little ways back. Unlike a clouser minnow or streamer flies like that with barbell eyes, there's not going to be a lot going in front of these eyes. There's not going to be a lot of thread buildup. We do want to leave plenty of room back behind for the body. So we're going to take our barbell eye, in this case is just a lead mini size barbell eye painted black, and we're just going to tie that up onto that hook with just a little bit of room up there to get our whip finish and things like that in when we're done. But it doesn't have to be way far away like it would on a clouser. Whoops, we're just going to tie that in, and you can see we want to tie it in tight enough that it doesn't do that once we're done. So we're just going to keep throwing in these X-wraps nice and tight until we get it on there straight. And then what we're going to do to set that in is we're just going to take some horizontal wraps between that eye and between the barbell eyes and the hook, and that's going to snug that up so that that's not going to want to slide. Then we're going to take our thread back to the back of the hook just before we get to the bend. And Kim, if I remember right, always liked to use marabou on his, and marabou works really well for a tail. On this particular one, just for the color of it, I'm going to use a little squirrel tail, or not squirrel tail, I'm sorry, pine squirrel body fur off of a pine squirrel strip. Just going to take a fairly small clump. We want a little bit of bush in the tail, but it doesn't need to be real aggressive. Pull some of the under fur out of there. We're just going to take that and we're going to set that back on the hook and measure it out. Don't want it to set too far back. Maybe half a shank length at the longest. Just want it to be nice and bushy. And then we're going to take a hackle. In this particular case I'm going with ginger, but you can use whatever color is going to complement or contrast your body color. We're going to do a pheasant tail dubbed body, so this light ginger is going to go real well with that. And we're just going to take that and we're going to tie it in back there as well. Make sure we get it tied in really good so that it doesn't pull loose when we go to wrap it. And I'm just going to throw in a little extra thread here to kind of level out that body, so that there's not too much of a bump in the butt. A little bit's not bad, but we don't want too much. And then we're going to take our dubbing. In this case it's a pheasant tail ice dub. I picked the ice dub to give it just a little bit of sparkle and flash in the water. We're just going to take a little bit of that dubbing and we're just going to form a thin little noodle on our thread. A little bit of dubbing goes a long way. We can always go back and put more on if we need to, so we're just going to put a little bit on there and see how it comes out. Whoops. Get that started. Go up. Still got a little bit of dubbing on there. We can build back and level that out. We're going to just take our thread and wind it through there to kind of bind things down and strengthen it. Then we're going to take our hackle And we're going to wind it forward. We're going to palmer it forward almost like you were tying a woolly bugger. We're going to leave some gaps between those wraps. So about four wraps to get up to the front on this one. And I'm just going to take a couple of wraps at the front to kind of bush it up around the eyes a little bit. Take a few wraps there to make sure we got everything cinched down while trying not to catch any more of those fibers than we have to. And we're going to get in with our scissors and trim that out of there. And then just to kind of dress that head up a little bit, I'm just going to take a tiny, tiny little bit of dubbing. Not much at all, just a very, very little bit. Wind that on the, dub that onto the thread. And I'm just going to take and make a couple of crossing wraps over those eyes. Just to kind of cover my thread work and just to kind of make that sparkle go all the way up to the front. And then we're going to take our whip finisher and we're going to finish that whip finish. And that's going to be our finished bluegill bug. All that's left is to take it out and either strip it slowly or hang it under an indicator in your favorite bluegill pond and see what you catch. Big thanks to Kim Burnett for teaching me this fly. This isn't a paid sponsored thing or anything like that. This is just me acknowledging a good friend and his skill and his teaching. And so I am going to tell you, go ahead and give him a visit over at CrappieStopperJigsandFlies.com. I'll go ahead and put that down below so you can see it written out. And good luck with the fly. Tight lines. We'll see you in the next one.